Hi everybody, it's Pastor Josh, and a bunch of you asked for me to do this again. Seemed to be working for you, so we're going to do another video moment, 3 to 5 minutes type of thing, and on spirituality and faith. We've been talking lately about Lent, and in Lent we've been talking about, instead of giving up something for Lent, I'm asking you to think for Lent. That many of us, we don't think, and we're just going through the rote memorization of scripture and faith, and we're just doing what we got to do to get by. And so to break out of that, I've been asking you to kind of put on your thinking cap. And to do that, I've been asking you questions such as, what does God want for you in these 40 days? Where is your zeal for the Lord? What is the weight of your cross? To get you to kind of poke your brain and say, hey, I need to start thinking. And that has been getting me thinking about questions and the nature of questions and questions regarding faith. Because I had an interesting pastoral visit on Monday, and it was grandma who was struggling with her grandson who was having issues about faith. He wanted to know what God looked like. And I said, how do you define that? You really can't tell them what God looks like. It's because God looks like everything. God looks like nothing. God is infinite. How do you define the indescribable? How do you, tell me how big is the universe? It's impossible. I said, what your grandson's really asking is, what does God mean to me? What does God look like? How can I describe and define, and how do I relate with God? And so I said, honestly, what we need is better questions. And one of the reasons that I really like questions is because it's one of the reasons why I left being a Baptist minister and I moved to the United Church of Christ. It's because the UCC had better questions. They were not afraid of questions, weren't afraid of the conversations. We could talk about women in ministry. We could talk about same-sex relations or homosexuality. We could talk about social justice. We could talk about black and white issues, racial integration, a whole host of things. There was nothing off the table. And in my Baptist world, that wasn't the case. And so I left in order to find better questions, to be able to have that conversation. And I think that is far more about what faith is about, that we need better questions. Faith has never been a series of rote memorization. We've turned it into that in order to make it easier for people, in order to get them to start learning about faith, but it's never what it was truly meant to be. Faith is always supposed to be the journey, the struggle, the finding out more about God, and by finding out more, we realize we need to know more. It's very similar to science. I know people are saying, science, really? It is. In science, there are very few laws. There's the law of gravity, the law of thermodynamics, but there are far more theories out there. There's the theory of evolution, the theory of relativity. There are lots and lots of theories out there. And that's one of the things about faith, is that faith is very much theory-driven, far more than law-driven. Don't kill people, love people, those are some laws. How you do that, how you express that, I don't know. It could be different for every single person. And so that's why we have to question. That's why we have to struggle. That's why ministers ask you to teach Sunday school and tithe and work at the food pantry. It's not because we need those things done so much as we want you to struggle with your faith. We want you to grow in your spirituality. We want you to take these things, these elements, and say, okay, does this fit me? Does this fit how God speaks to me? And how can I integrate those things? It's difficult and it's a struggle, but it brings up these questions, and it brings up more questions in an attempt to discover who God is and to interact with God. And so as hopefully this week, you start to think more and more and more. What I hope for you is that you find better questions. I hope this helps this week. God bless. Have a great week.